Hello and welcome to Crowforest, the podcast. So last time we finished up March 25 of 2023, and that was the last part of a post-production section. So now we'll pick back up with another production section starting on March 28 of 2023. I got some more filming done today. I've been wanting to get a panning shot with the miniature loaf of bread I bought a while back, and I finally got the chance today. I found an old dry loaf of French bread that was way too hard to eat, but I managed to hack it apart enough to use for the shot. I set up the bread on a wooden cutting board and laid the knife across it, and then I got a panning shot over to the miniature on the table where I had placed the miniature with the matching bread knife and cutting board. When I played it back, it looked pretty good. Next, I took out the set of miniature plates printed in the style of Blue Willow china so that I could do a match shot over to the real cabinet with the similarly printed Calamity Ware plates. Unfortunately, the plates were slightly too large to fit into the tiny Lego cabinet, so I decided to trim the edges of the 4 plates and leave the other 8 plates intact. That way I would have 2 different sizes for the larger scale model, matching the 2 sizes of the real plates in the real cabinet. So I trimmed down the plates so that they fit into the Lego cabinet, and then I got the shot using tweezers to open the cabinet, and then panning up and walking forward into the kitchen to get the matching shot of the real cabinet. The shot looked pretty good, but I do feel like I need to apologize to PT Doll Miniatures, the Etsy shop where I bought the plates, for cutting up their creation. So, sorry, I do feel bad about that. The last thing I did today was to open up the attic and set up my camera on a tripod at the top of the ladder. Then I climbed back down and put on the wax figure suit. Once I had the suit on, I couldn't see anything at all, but I knew that I had left the miniature on the chair beside me, so I groped blindly for it until I got it. And then I stumbled forward into the open ladder. I very carefully climbed up 2 steps of the ladder, and then I climbed back down. I carefully set the miniature down on the floor, and then I very quickly took off the costume, which had already gotten very hot even in the 5 minutes I was wearing it. I really hope that that shot came out okay, because I do not want to do that again. It was difficult, uncomfortable, and just generally a terrible idea. Absolutely do not try this at home. Okay, this one is also labeled March 28, 2023, which is, I'm guessing, a mistake, or one of those is a mistake. I will go back later into my files and see when these videos were actually created and adjust accordingly, but until then, I don't know which of these is accurate. So, once again, March 28, 2023. Maureen and I both got some filming done today. Before doing anything else, I knew that I needed to put back the Halloween decorations for continuity, so Maureen said that she would pack for an upcoming trip while I did that. But I remembered that we needed a shot of Maureen packing a bag for the movie, so I set up my camera and tripod in her bedroom so that she could get a shot of packing her bag while I set up the set in the other room. So that was pretty efficient. Next, we got a tricky shot involving pouring water in front of the miniature window while simultaneously pouring water outside the real window. We got a couple of practice shots to figure out how to do it, and then we set up the camera to get the right angle, framing both the miniature window and the real window. She called me and we put both of our phones on speaker so that we could get the timing right, and then I went back outside and got up on the ladder. Then, once I heard Maureen say the cue line, I dumped the pitcher of water I was holding down over the window. Unfortunately, I forgot to get my phone off the table, so I ended up pouring water onto it. But, oh well, that's what OtterBoxes are for. I really hope this shot turns out okay. I don't want to do this again. Alright, and April 3, 2023. My last attempt at adding a vent over the overhead shot of Maureen in the kitchen didn't really work nearly as well as I had hoped, and I had been trying to think of another way to do it. And today I had an idea. I took a tiny Lego sink drain and placed it over my phone's camera lens and secured it in place with poster putty. Then I pulled up the clip that I wanted to alter on another device and tried filming the screen with my phone, which was at this point looking through the grate. It didn't really work the first time because the grate was too close to the lens, and so it barely showed up at all in the video. So I pulled the grate off of the lens and took some more poster putty and made a little dome to hold it up off the lens a little further. Then I tried it again, and it worked a little better, but it still wasn't quite good enough. So what I did next was to find a Lego ladder, one of those tiny 3-step ladders, and I put that into the putty dome instead of the sink drain. This gave me a grate that was about twice as big as the other one, and when I filmed through it, the resulting video looked really good, at least on the small phone screen. Hopefully it will still look good on the big screen. Alright, and April 4 of 2023. Today, we finally got around to filming the movie night scene. I already had plenty of footage of the movie playing on the TV screen, even if it was the wrong TV screen. So today, what we got was the shot of Maureen and friend sitting on the couch. I had written a few lines for them to say, and they ad-libbed a few more lines, so hopefully there will be enough to put together a reasonable scene. Okay, and back in another post-production section, starting on April 5 of 2023. Today, I finally got around to editing that water window scene that we filmed the other day, and the shot didn't work. The clip begins with Maureen slouched over the table pretending to be asleep, and then slowly sitting up into the frame. But unfortunately, when she came up into the frame and blocked a large part of the window, the lighting of the shot was dramatically altered and caused the camera to adjust to compensate, resulting in the window getting completely washed out. So when Maureen spilled the glass of water, and when I tossed the pitcher of water outside the window, you can't see anything out the window. So that sucks, but I'm still not ready to give up on this shot yet. Since the washed out window resulted in a solid white background, I figured that I might be able to use it as a sort of green screen, only using a luma key instead of a chroma key. Meaning that I would be mapping out levels of lightness or darkness, or white or black, rather than mapping out a color as you would do with a green screen. So with that in mind, I got a tripod shot of the window from the inside looking out, and once again climbed up on the ladder and tossed a pitcher of water down from the top of the window. So now I had a shot of the water out the window. I could always just use this shot as is and just put a cut in the shot, and if this experiment doesn't work, that's exactly what I'll do. But I really wanted to do this all in one shot. So I took this new shot and imported it into Final Cut Pro, editing it in a new project and not my main movie project because I don't exactly trust this software not to crash. And then I dragged the clip over to where it sat underneath the first clip. Then I placed a luma key onto the top clip so that the new clip could now be seen underneath it. Then I resized the new clip and rotated it to match the angle of the window in the first clip. And yeah, this is all very technical here, but yeah, stay tuned for the documentary where I put the editing footage and all the original clips that I was using and all that kind of stuff to actually illustrate this in a visual way. It'll make much more sense then. Finally, I cropped the second clip so that it didn't go beyond the confines of the window, and I added a crossfade transition to both sides of the second clip so that it would fade in and out in the same way that the actual window clip faded in and out with the initial washing out, the thing that I'm attempting to fix. The resulting video wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. Definitely the best possible outcome without actually getting it all in the camera. I could try and film it again and get it better that way, but there's nothing to prevent it from washing out again end, so I think this is the best I can do. And it is pretty good. Next, I edited in the clip of the vent that I got a couple of days ago. As hoped, it looked really good. After the doozy of that first clip, it was nice to have a super simple editing job for a change. Okay, and that brings us back up to another production section. So we'll go ahead and leave off there and pick up next time. Looks like that is also April 5 of 2023, and that one I believe is accurate because I switched from editing to production on the same day. Unlike the previous time, it was the same day where it's like they're both in the same section of production and they're back to back, so that was clearly a mistake, but this time I believe it is accurate. Okay, so that is where we will leave off today, and hope to see you next time. Wow, that was an uninspiring way of ending this.